Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Mitchell Ringos. Boxing Day is typically one of the busiest shopping days of the year with big crowds on the hunt for big savings. But that wasn't necessarily the case this year as many stores were relatively quiet today. Vasilios Bellos spoke with shoppers and employees to find out why.
Boxing Day usually comes with it packed malls for shoppers looking for the best deals, which can make for a stressful experience. Though things were a little slower in Thunder Bay this year, and most shoppers weren't complaining.
It's crazy dead here. Like, I was so surprised the parking lot is empty. And yeah, I think we'll be in and out this year instead of standing in line for hours, and it'll be nice.
You'd expect a lot of people to be here, but it's just simply different this year. A lot of places are electing to do Boxing Week instead of Boxing Day, so people are definitely spreading out their shopping days.
While places like Intercity Shopping Center didn't have those consistent crowds you'd expect on Boxing Day, the shoppers that did come out were satisfied with the deals.
Came here specifically to get myself an Apple Watch, and I did get a good deal, and I'm really happy with it. So yeah, it's a great time right now to do the shopping. I'm sure it's going to pick up later because there's quite a few deals out there.
You don't really get the rush of people anymore, but we've been out since 8 a.m. We started at Best Buy doing some purchases, so we got some pretty good deals with some TVs. So yeah, it's been pretty good.
Over at Thunder Bay's self-described Boxing Day headquarters, the Power Center, the crowds were also thinner than expected to start the shopping day. Manager Dave Radford said he's not too worried though, believing the extended sales that go beyond Boxing Day is why they didn't see as many customers when they opened shop.
With Black Friday and Boxing Week, our prices pretty much remain that price, that low price for the whole month. So this done a couple things to help the customers pick and choose when they want to come in and buy it, as opposed to putting up with big crowds and stuff. And it seems to work better for us as well. We're able to spend better quality time with the customer.
It was a similar story at Marnix Mobile as well. District sales trainer Jason Briggs believes there's a number of reasons for the slower shopping day, including changing consumer habits.
The online shopping and the retail shopping are definitely separating themselves, with the Black Friday being the busy holiday now. So it's tough, but people are when the weather is cold, it impacts our business for sure.
Vasilios Bellos, TBT News.
Local residents have just 3 days left to enjoy the warm air and lush greenery of the Centennial Botanical Conservatory. The facility, which has fallen into disrepair over the years, is set to undergo a lengthy renovation. As Lee Noonan explains, it will be 2024 before people can take another stroll amongst the exotic vegetation.
For many in Thunder Bay, the conservatory is a tropical oasis in the middle of a harsh frozen landscape. But on December 30th, the facility will be shutting its doors, and they're expecting to stay shut for the coming year. Phase 2 of the facility's renewal project is planned to begin this spring, and pending council approval in February, the conservatory will be closed to the public for the entirety of 2023.
Basically, it's necessary to start getting the tropical display area in order, move some of the plants and flowers that need to be moved in order for the planned construction to take place.
The second phase of the renewal includes reglazing the exteriors, updating the structure of the east and west wings, and widening and rerouting paths.
So really, at the end of the renewal, we would be looking at everything would look new. So from glazing to the pathways to the knee walls around the entire facility. So it really will look like a full renewal.
Work on phase 1 of the project is nearing completion, with finishing touches left to go on the production greenhouses and the annex connecting them to the main conservatory. That facility should be ready to use in March and will also be used to help store some of the displaced tropical plants. Halverson says phase 1 has gone very well and is on track and on budget. He's hopeful they'll maintain that through phase 2.
So the production greenhouse budget is on track, so we haven't had any issues for the first phase. Part of what will be coming in the report in February will be an updated estimate to provide to council. So at that point we'll be able to have a clearer idea whether we're looking at any type of budget increases or not.
The conservatory is open 1 to 4 from now until Thursday. According to Halverson, they have already seen an uptick in visitors since announcing the impending closure. Lee Noonan, TBT News.
For nearly 2 days now, Highway 599 has been closed north of Pickle Lake due to poor road conditions and a jackknife tanker truck cutting the community off North Caribou Lake First Nation off from the highway system. According to Ontario 511, the highway, which is also known as Nord Road, has been closed in both directions since about 8 p.m. on Christmas Eve. A tractor trailer reportedly transporting diesel has crashed, blocking the road and sparking concern about the possible environmental impact of an oil spill in the area. Kiiwetinoong MPP Saul Mamakwa says he's contacted the Minister of Environment and is expecting further updates regarding a cleanup effort.
I'm hoping that they will have something in place and get it cleaned up as soon as possible. And we have to understand too that North Road is very important for North Caribou, but also some of the winter road season. Like I know that's a gateway to access services, but not only that, the Musselwhite Mine too, right? So it's a really critical road for the north.
Mamakwa says he knows of people stranded on both sides of the closure and expects that Musselwhite Mine has also been affected. He suggests this winter road system could also be affected if the closure isn't resolved before the ice roads open. To the U.S. now, and the massive deadly storm that disrupted so many people's holiday plans across the country. At least 55 people were killed, but no city was hit harder than Buffalo, New York. CTV's Vanessa Lee explains.
Hurricane-force winds and snow blasted Buffalo. This powerful blizzard is being described as a once-in-a-generation storm. With streets impassable, authorities imposed a driving ban.
We have been through a lot of wars together, and this blizzard is the one for the ages. Certainly it is the blizzard of the century.
More than a meter of snow paralyzed the city. For the first time ever, the fire department could not answer calls.
Not only were first responders not able to respond, they were actually the ones trapped. Many first responders, whether it's ambulance, fire trucks, police, or troopers, were stuck and had to stay in their vehicles until we could rescue the rescuers.
Snowplows were the only vehicles able to reach the stranded. Across western New York, at least 27 people have died in the blizzard, found in their cars, homes, and in snowbanks. There are fears that number will rise, with more waiting to be rescued, and thousands still without heat and power.
The focus of the city's operations have been on life safety, plowing to get to motorists that have been stranded in vehicles, plowing to help emergency personnel.
An Arctic blast that has gripped much of the U.S. has derailed holiday travel from coast to coast. According to FlightAware, as of this afternoon, more than 3,000 flights into or out of the U.S. today were canceled.
There's no option to rebook anything online. Oh, I've also been on hold for 5 hours and 43 minutes.
The National Guard has been deployed to help with rescue efforts in New York, where some areas are expecting another 30 centimeters of snow. Vanessa Lee, CTV News, Washington.
Christmas is a busy occasion for many people. Unfortunately, it's been a busy time for local firefighters as well, as they've responded to 3 fires over the last 2 days. The worst tore through this home on the 200 block of Wolseley Street around noon yesterday. The structure suffered extensive damage, both due to the fire itself and from the water that firefighters used to suppress the blaze. Thunder Bay Fire Rescue says the flames became entrenched in the second-story walls and attic spaces. Fortunately, nobody was inside the home at the time. Crews from 6 pumpers, an aerial ladder, and a command unit battled the fire for approximately 9 hours before bringing it under control. They managed to keep it from spreading to the neighborhood houses on either side. Firefighters also responded to another house fire on Anton Street overnight last night, in which one person sustained undisclosed injuries. Fire crews brought the flames under control quickly, limiting the damage to one area of the home. Finally, a vehicle fire on Strachan Crescent was also extinguished before it could spread to a nearby house. 4 people are dead, with dozens injured following a Christmas Eve bus rollover on BC's 97C highway. The cause of the crash is still unclear. CTV's Alyssa Thibault has more.
In the dark and the cold, first responders head to a major crash Christmas Eve, a fatal bus roll in BC's interior.
Preliminary reports that it was a full bus and sounded serious.
RCMP say 4 people died at the scene and dozens were hurt. Multiple ambulance units were called, some coming from as far as 150 kilometres away. And patients were spread between 4 different hospitals, injuries ranging from serious to minor. Interior Health activating a code orange.
That's a disaster response that they call in as many people as they can in anticipation of the patients that they will be receiving and needs. And it's not just the emergency department. You're going to need technicians. You're going to need specialists.
For those looking for loved ones, an information line has been set up. On Christmas morning, 8 people were still in hospital, 2 in serious condition. Although the number of patients remaining in hospital is low, said Interior Health in a statement, this is a life-altering incident for all involved. The exact cause of the crash is still under investigation, but RCMP believe it was the extremely icy road conditions. Rain and hail was also falling.
As the MP for the area, I drive that road quite a lot, even in the winter, and it is you can always expect to have either fog, snow drifts, heavy winds. This is as tragic as it gets.
The vehicle belongs to Alberta-based eBus, the company confirming to CTV News it is cooperating with the RCMP's investigation. The director adding they will do everything they can to get passengers back home and reconnected with their loved ones.
RCMP tell me this is a non-criminal investigation, but the local MP says there will still be some very tough questions asked about how something so tragic could happen just before Christmas. Alyssa Thibault, CTV News, Vancouver.
And our thoughts are with those involved in the crash. On a lighter note, after the break, sports anchor Kurt Black will join us with everything you need to know about the sports.